Should we do log base 10, make it easy for right now, right? Just regular log, and then we're going to say log of x. Somebody remind me, what's the nice interpretation, the friendly wording that goes along with logarithms? They are power finder functions. We can think of them as power finder functions. Or if you'd like, we can think of them as being a counting of zeros and magnitudes if we are in the right language with the right culture. That tends to be a little bit harder, but it works out better sometimes. Let's just think of this as a power finder function. So I have trying to find the power that turns the base. The base here is 10. Trying to turn 10 into x. So let's ask ourselves, can I make this be something where I'm trying to turn 10 into 0? Should we explore? Like, I don't know what that would be. Let's for right now just give it a label like, I don't know, y. And then we can do a little rearranging by reading that story, right? I'm trying to find the power that turns 10 into 0. That power is, just as we have it listed right here, that power is y. That's the power I found, right? Find the power that turns 10 into 0. That power is y, right? Read it straight through like a sentence. So then I can rearrange this and say, okay, then I have 10 to my power of y, and that has to equal 0. That's another way of looking at this equivalently, right? Let's explore it for a little bit. If I make it a positive exponent, that's going to be multiplications, right? Is that going to get me close to 0? No, it's going to make it too big, right? Real big, right? 100, 1,000, some numbers in between, sure. What if I did negative exponents? Negative exponents would be division, right? That'd be 1 divided by 10, 1 divided by 100, 1 divided by 1,000, right? Are any of those going to give me a 0? 1 divided by what gets me a 0? I don't think there's an answer to that, right? That's like having a storyline that says I have a cookie and I'd like to divide the cookie to share amongst all of you. You will all get a bit of cookie. And if I want to share it amongst all of, and I use, right, staff, then they would all get less cookie, but there would still be some. And I could share it amongst all of the country and all of the world, and everybody would just get a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a cookie, but they would all still get some cookie. Am I ever going to divide it so it completely goes away? No, I just split it smaller and smaller and smaller, right? So we can never truly get to 0. Very nice. So that means that if I circle this conversation all the way back and say, when I plugged in 0, did that work? The answer is no, because there's no way to do repeated multiplication or repeated division and have 0 be the result, which is also why if we graph the logarithm of x, we got a graph like this. Was there a graph above or below x equals 0? Let's check, right? Here's x equals 0. Do I have a graph below it? It's an asymptote, right? It just continues to skyrocket down. In the same way as me trying to say, how do I get no cookie? I can get closer with bigger negative exponents. That's why this becomes a bigger negative y value, because y was my exponents. But I can't actually divide this completely away. Similarly, what if we put in a negative number? What if I made this like negative 10? I could do the same rearranging, and now I'm trying to make this 10 repeatedly multiplied. Will that become negative? 10 times 10 is going to make it a negative. 10 times 10 times 10 is going to make it negative. 10 times pieces of 10 is going to, no, not like that's not making it negative. That's just making my pay it forward model go forward. And if I do division, does that suddenly make it negative, or does that just make it smaller and positive? Smaller and positive. So that's why we have domain restrictions for logarithms, is that logarithms, through the story of saying that I repeatedly multiply or I repeatedly divide, it's impossible to make the answer come out negative. It's impossible to make the answer come out as 0. So this does have a domain restriction where I'm not allowed to have 0, but everything up towards positive infinity works out just fine. I find this so much better than trying to memorize it, right? I mean, if you have the graph, then the graph will also kind of give you that information, but you can justify it with a story.